Best-selling author, artist, and community builder Cleo Wade became famous for her inspirational self-love mantras on Instagram and books filled with poetry and art, earning her the title of the Millennial Oprah for her positive messages. Now she's out with her first book for children. It's called What the Road Said. Cleo, thanks so much for joining us.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
So it took you almost 5 years to write What the Road Said. Tell us about your journey from the idea to putting words actually down on paper.
You know, about 5 years ago, I was actually still writing Heart Talk, my first book for adults. And these words came to me one day and they were, I said to the road, where do you lead? The road said, be a leader and find out. And I knew it felt special, but I didn't know what to do with it because it didn't really belong in Heart Talk. And I didn't know really what it meant, but I knew that it was, you know, it kind of felt this kind of like loving divine message or something from my heart. And I had no idea that one day I would kind of take those words and turn it into a book. So I wrote them down on a Post-it. I put them on my writing board for inspiration and I let them live there. And then I revisited them about 2 years later. I started kind of going on this journey through my own childhood. And I was like, you know, I think this should be a kid's book. And what are all the things I needed to hear as a kid? And about halfway through the process, I got pregnant. And so this book that kind of started out as something that was to heal my childhood self ended up being kind of the advice I wanted to give my own daughter and the advice I kind of also wanted to remember as a parent.
And so what is that advice? I mean, because What the Road Said, as you said, it's dedicated to your 15-month-old daughter. Initially, the story was a letter to your childhood self. What did you want to tell that little girl back then and also to your own little girl today?
You know, every page has the advice that I would want to give myself as a child or my daughter in a tough moment. I wanted to raise my daughter knowing that sometimes you will go the wrong way on the way to the right way, and don't worry, it's okay.
Yeah, I think that one of the really beneficial or aspects of a good children's book is that adults can read it too, and there's a message. And I want to just share a page from What the Road Said. What if I can't do it? You can, said the road. How do you know? Because you have come this far. How would you say that you learned that lesson of resilience, that it is such an important part of the book, again, for children as well as adults?
We understand how resilient we are after the fact. I mean, even in this exact moment of having gone through, you know, the peak trauma of COVID, right now we can sit here and say, oh my gosh, I made it through this. Like we are feeling our own resilience, you know, but in the moment when we were actually being resilient, we really just feel kind of afraid and we're not sure. We don't know, but we don't even realize that even right now in our culture that we have come this far through one of the hardest things in our human history.
And you've said that your work usually starts with an idea that has helped you, and then you start drafting it until it's as simple as possible. Why do you think it is that simplicity can often be difficult to achieve?
I feel that emotionally we're always tied into these knots, and we have all of these stories. We have the stories we tell ourselves. We have the stories other people tell us. For me, so much of why I even started writing was to put it all on a page in front of me.
A while back, you wrote that you had no appetite for politics as a teenager, and over the last few years, you've become more vocal about political and racial justice causes. It feels like you really evolved from positive change in a personal sense to positive change all around us. Why do you feel that that transition is important?
Yeah, you know, I do feel that, you know, in the past 10 years of my life, I have done so much work on myself to love myself enough to know that I have the power to create change. And then I took that responsibility really seriously. And so whether that's something, you know, I've written about how it can be as small as recycling to protesting, to voting, to, you know, there's so many ways that we can make a dent in our society and be a part of making things better for ourselves and everyone in our community.
Right when you started talking about how powerful we are, I think we heard your 15-month-old in the background.
I know. I was going to say my baby's like, I'm like sitting here, like I can hear my baby in the kitchen.
No, we appreciate her chiming in, and we appreciate you coming on the show and talking with us today, Cleo. And you can purchase What the Road Said anywhere books are sold.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.